Okay, welcome aboard. This is Crucible Tarot. Thanks so much for joining me for today's reading. We're going to be reading for the sign of, I believe this is Libra, Sun, Moon, and Descendant for the month of August 2026. Now, as always, I'd like to welcome you here and just to kind of let you know, if you like what you see here, please be sure to like, share, subscribe, ding the notification bell so you don't miss updates from future postings. And additionally, if you would like to support the channel, please feel free to do so in whichever way possible. And also do it by blocking and reporting spammers and scammers. So that's really it. We're going to go into this reading. I may have to wrap things up slightly quickly with this specific reading because it's late here and brain is starting to crash. But I'm just going to do my best and try to read this as clearly as possible. That said, we're going into your reading. Start with you, Libra, with the Moon card. Of course, this is Mr. Bowie himself, you know, the Goblin King from Labyrinth. We're reading the movie Tarot, and this is actually an interesting deck that I'm exploring right now because I haven't used it in a long time, but I'm going to give it a go this run. So, Moon card in the reverse. It's clarified by the Five of Wands in the reverse. When I get these two energies together, it's like it's a revelation that the Moon card in the reverse, it's like your path is finally being illuminated to the point where you can finally see, because the Moon is you kind of fumbling in the dark and learning your way, using your intuition. But with the Moon in the reverse, it's kind of like the dawn is starting to peek its head over the crest of the hill. And with the Five of Wands in the reverse, as the challenge for this, is like I'm hearing the expression, I don't have any more fight left. It's like as things are becoming clear to you, it's very difficult and challenging for you to reach the other shore, so that way you can get out of kind of the situation that you're currently embroiled in. Maybe this is also something in where you have to learn how to continue fighting in order to make your life clearer and to understand the right path that you need to take in order to make this work. So in essence, we have, in the recent past, we have some really strong cards. So you see some quite powerful energy in the recent past. You had the Eight of Wands, then you have the Queen of Wands from, okay, I think this is, what's the name of that movie? Good grief. Jennifer Lawrence. No, not Jennifer Lawrence. Hunger Games, that's right. You have the Queen of Wands and the Eight of Wands here. And for this reading, what I'm getting a lot of is there was something you had your eyes dead set on, and you went after it really strongly with a lot of abandon, almost reckless abandon. And maybe this is the thing that tired you out, because, you know, the Five of Wands in the reverse as your current energy. It's probably because you kind of floored the, you know, floored the gas pedal, or you just like slammed on the accelerator quite quickly to try to get to this one thing. I'm going to ask what specifically that thing was, so that way we can get some clarity on it. So what was it that Libra went after in the recent past? Okay. Get the Strength card. So this is Ripley from Aliens. I love this card, actually. It's pretty cool. See the xenomorph in the background and the eggs at the bottom of her feet. So despite being surrounded by all of this kind of these mad, disgusting creatures, you know, she's managing to keep strong and to keep persevering through all of this. So maybe this is a situation in which, you know, it was important for you to get out there and really hit everything hard, so that way things are no longer burdensome. So this is right after the period of the Chariot with card number 7. This is card number 8, in which you have the Strength. In this particular deck, they've labeled it as card number 11, so it may be based on the Tarot Marseille, if I'm not mistaken. So we have that. That said, with all of this kind of gusto to move forward and to persevere and to keep going and to endure, it feels like you've burnt yourself out. And in doing so, you have found it's time for you to take a little step back. So in the near future, we have the Five of Cups in the reverse. And then we have the Hangman in the reverse. So it's almost like getting unstuck from a lot of the kind of negative energies that you had in the past. Maybe the reason for you actually pushing really hard in the past to get, to move forward was because you realized that you were stuck in an energy where you felt, I would say suppressed is the right word. That's the word that's coming to my mind intuitively. The Hangman normally is like you're being forced to stay within a position in order to get better understanding of what's going on. The Hangman in the reverse here, I'm getting more of the idea that you have finally received the wisdom that you need in order for you to understand the path forward, to get over the disappointment and the heartbreak. So that way you can go ahead and start pursuing life again. Sometimes we get stuck in the negative mind states. It can be very difficult for us to move forward because we don't see a way forward. What was keeping Libra stuck? What was keeping Libra stuck? 2 points in the reverse. It felt like everything was kind of falling apart. It's like you were dropping the ball, to say the least. I think in this period of burnout, made some good progress. But now it's kind of time to take a step back and just kind of relish in the fact that you did move some mountains. And now it's time for you to just kind of rest on your laurels a little bit. Maybe when it seemed like life was falling apart for you, I'm getting that Gary Newman song, When the World Falls Apart, off of the Savages album. That was a really, really good album. But with that, it seems like finally you're feeling that breakthrough, that move away from the problems, from the difficulties, from the challenges. You had to be strong in the past. You had to put a lot of effort forward in order to make things happen. And now it seems like the heaviness of life is beginning to let up, which is a good sign. In your subconscious energy, consciousness within that we haven't seen yet, the shadow. We have the Ace of Wands. Of course, this is the master himself, Bruce Lee. And this is clarified by the Three of Cups in the reverse. And then we have the Page of Cups here, which I do not know what this movie is. If anyone knows in the comments where this movie comes from, please do let me know, because that would help me out quite a bit. So with the Page of Cups, Three of Cups in the reverse, I'm getting the impression it's like the way these are being presented, it's like you're defending yourself from these two entities on the side. However, taking a step back, I'm just kind of sussing these out a bit. With this, getting kind of the impression that you wanted a new start with someone, but I'm just going to say what's coming to mind. Maybe that person was married already. Maybe that person was involved in other people, but even more so, on a deeper level, a more metaphysical level, I feel like you have kind of wanted to fight back against co-conspirators that would work behind your back. Normally they tell you sweet nothings to your face, but in the background, what's happening is that they're conspiring behind your back. Three of Cups in the reverse. Even in the times in which you feel like you don't feel supported, and maybe you felt like in life you've had to go and be strong and have to really fight battles that most people would dare not fight in their own lives. Three of Cups in the reverse can also talk about being or feeling unsupported. And with the Page of Cups in the upright, it's telling us that even though you feel unsupported, you were gentle enough with yourself to keep persevering and to be strong throughout all of these trials and tribulations. And that's a good message to actually say. I don't want to get the impression like, oh, someone's cheating or someone's spying behind your back and they're looking at you on the internet and some bullshit like that. The typical tarot readings that just have no place on this channel. In this particular part here, we have two very, very powerful figures. These are the ones that represent your conscious mind. So we have here, firstly, the Hierophant, represented by the Don himself from The Godfather. And then we have, I believe it's either Queen Elizabeth or I don't think it's Cleopatra. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. The Empress is in the reverse. This is learning a lot of lessons about self-worth, the things that you value, the things that you know, to traditionally have sustained you in the past and in the past of your past, like the past of the people who have raised you, the people who have come before you, like ancestors. In essence, it tells us about the fact that you've learned some very valuable lessons in self-worth and understanding how you're going to bring yourself into the world and manifest who you are. Not even just manifesting other things like money or wealth or relationships, but in all of these difficulties that you've had to endure in the past and putting forth that a lot of that effort, you're now starting to learn the lesson of what it means to be an empress and what it means to actually step into your energy and your strength, so that way you can really know. This might sound a bit crude, and apologies, but it's like you want people to know who they're fucking with. And in doing so, you have proven to yourself that you can overcome insurmountable odds, but additionally, you know who you are, you know your self-worth. That was the major lesson that you've learned in the recent past. And like in your conscious mind, it's there. So in doing so, that's really, really quite helpful. So in the outcome of all of this, we have here, and this is a very interesting combination because these movies are completely separate but somewhat related. So we have the Ace of Coins. This is I believe it's from Indecent Proposal. Of course, you have to offer that Ace of Coins in order to get that Ace of Wands action going in that movie. And then Queen of Swords, Basic Instinct. So that's Sharon Stone. So Sharon Stone and Michael Douglas together. This is about receiving something of lasting value, something that helps, but being very discriminating and discerning with it when it comes in. So if I was to read the entirety of this tarot reading, it gives me the impression of someone who is fighting really, really hard to get something that they really, really want in their life. And maybe it's about, the types of relationships that you want in your life. Maybe it's about reaching a goal in which it's going to make you feel like you've accomplished a lot, and being able to push away the naysayers and the people who hold you back. The discipline, the strength, the focus, the fortitude that you've learned over these last few months has brought you to a position where when something is offered to you, you know whether it's good or not. When you receive a new start, a new beginning in something, you know exactly how to treat it. So this time when you get a job, you're going to treat it with the utmost discrimination. So that way you perform the job properly. If it's a new relationship, rather than just taking what's offered to you, you may actually step back and say, is this something that I really want? Do I want to engage with this person, or do I want to let it go and keep moving? This could even be about looking at your self-worth and actually finally understanding it for a change. And not simply just going through the motions of saying, well, I can do this, I can do that. But it's like you've proven yourself. You have gone through that trial of fire, which has allowed you to, in essence, really make a high mark on, other people as well as yourself, and actually push through that, evolutionary cycle. Because what it says here, the Moonology Oracle deck that I've chosen, or that has been chosen for you, it says here, your hard work is paying off. This is the new moon in Capricorn. So it's a new dawn, new day, new life for you. And with this energy that's coming into the fore, it's about overcoming insurmountable odds. That is what the Capricorn does. Their public image that they have presented to the rest of the world is about legacy. It is about fullness of value and of worth. It is about taking the actual steps needed to rise to a challenge. And just like the goat, when it climbs up the side of a mountain, its primary thing that it needs, other than salt, and you can watch goat videos about that, they will go to the ends of the earth, to the highest cliffs and mountains for something very simple. A goat will go for like salt. And there was this one funny video that I was looking at recently where there was a hiker. He was rappelling up. He was going up a mountain. He was actually scaling the mountain. And he gets into this encounter with a couple of white goats, and one of them just like literally sits there and is licking his leg for like 5 minutes, because that's what they do. They need the salt to keep themselves going and have the electrolytes to continue to endure. In your situation, it could have been the same. It's like, I need this one thing. And once I get it, I'm going to climb this entire mountain inside of it. And then I'm going to just enjoy and savor that moment when it finally does come in. I'm going to do this with scrutiny and discernment and reason, which is going to be very, very important. So if you felt like you've made mistakes in the past, or you felt that you have been less clear in your recent past, it's important now that you know that this time, hopefully, it will be much different. So I'm going to leave it there. Thank you so much. This has been Crucible Tarot. Hopefully this has been of some use and utility to you, and all the best to you if this is what's taking place. If you like what you see here again, please be sure to give a like, share, subscribe, ding the notification bell so that you don't miss updates. Until next time, thank you very much. VIAM, GEVURAH, AMBULO. See you around.